Dev Sani here for Queensberry Promotions, and we are at the BT Tower with Frank Warren. Frank, have you looked down yet?
Of course I have.
Yeah.
I'm taking this view in. It's the most unbelievable panoramic view of London. It's amazing.
It's a real benefit to working with BT, huh?
It certainly is. We get the higher ground every time.
Now, we're here today to promote the December 21st show, The Fight Before Christmas. A really good name, might I add. I've got to ask you, there was a quote that came out from Daniel Dubois which said, "I wanted to defend my British title, but no one would step up." Do you think he's ever going to get to defend that British title?
Look, he may do. He may be past that. You know, he's now ranked. He's now fighting a guy who's got a ranking in the WBA. That's the reason we went after him. He's ranked in the other three governing bodies, the BO, BC, and IBF. This guy's the WBO Asian heavyweight champion. It's for the WBC silver belt. Dillian White held that. That got him into the number one spot, made him a mandatory challenger that he's not managed to fulfil, but it made him a number one challenger. So he's got that, and plus the fact that Daniel owns another version of the intercontinental WBO, or international title. So that's going to be another. Them two getting on. We'll get him up in the top five. And this fight will, if he comes through it, will propel him. We'll get him up there and set him up for next year, and we want to keep moving, get him into a number one spot.
You know, there was a moment, it looked for the world like this fight was going to be against Dave Allen. He was calling out Daniel, he come along to the show, he kept doing interviews about him. What happened there from your perspective?
Well, we made him an offer, he said no, and then he told us how much he wanted, and I think it was within about 3, 4, 5 days we then said we'll pay him that, and he then said he wanted more. So he was thinking about it, he wanted more money, then he didn't want to do the fight until next year and so forth. But we're past all that. That's gone. That's yesterday. And Dave's a lovely bloke, but we all know what's what. And I've got to be realistic. The fact he was coming off of a knockout against David Price, who subsequently has been knocked out himself. It is what it is. This guy's 21-1, and I say he ticks a lot of boxes for us for where we're trying to get with Daniel. And there's we've got all these heavyweights at the moment, all the guys at the top, with Tyson. Hopefully, if he comes through, Deontay Wilder this month, they're fighting February for the WBC title. You've got Ruiz and Joshua fighting in December, then they've got mandatories, so we just got to keep pushing Daniel, keep getting him up the rankings. I want to get him into the number one spot to be a mandatory, so that there's no ducking out, that whoever is standing will have to fight him. That's what I'm pushing for, and that's what I'm going to do.
Well, he said his aim is actually to fight for a world title within the next 12 months. Is that realistic?
Very much, provided he keeps winning. Very much.
Is there a particular route, or is it just you're going for all of them?
Go for all of them. I mean, he's capable of being number one in all their divisions. He's the most exciting young heavyweight out there. He's a sensational heavyweight, and without a doubt, he's in the position where we can really where we can capitalise on him if he gets in the number one position by forcing whoever's champion to fight him.
Or vacate.
Or whatever. But the fact is, if he's number one and they do vacate, he fights for the title anyway.
Yeah. So also on the show is the return of Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
Now, tell me this, did you think he was ever going to come back to boxing?
Yeah. He's a fighting man. He comes from a fighting family, and they made the call to us and said that his dad come up, John, said he wants him in the ring, and so he's in the ring. But he's got a lot of pressure on him now. Whereas guys, he's having his third pro fight. You could probably tuck him down the card and get a few more fights, get some experience. Now he's got all the eyes on him. He's got 3 million, is it Twitter followers?
Instagram.
So he's Instagram, sorry. So they'll all be watching him or seeing what's going on. So he's got a heck of an amount of pressure on him now to deal with. And he's got to produce the goods. So, but he's capable, and he's a really lovely fella. He's a really nice guy. He comes from fighting stock, and he's determined to win a world title.
He's got those 3 million Instagram followers. You would imagine the bulk of them are female, and they enjoyed looking at him on Love Island. So with that in mind, is there a plan to get more handsome boxers on the undercard and expose them to the new audience?
Well, someone asked me if I'd fight on the undercard, but I'm not going to do
it. So no plans to do that?
No, definitely not at all.
Stick to what we know. So in terms of a 12-month plan for Tommy Fury, is it different to your usual 2-0 prospect?
No, I wouldn't be swayed or in doing anything that's not going to be to his benefit at this stage of his career. Bring him along like we do, which is, we're pretty good at doing. Bring him along like we'd bring anybody along who's a novice professional.
Well, away from this show, so another couple of things just to ask you about. Anthony Yard, there was a rumour earlier this year he'd fight before the end of the year. Looks like he's not on this show. Have you had that meeting with him yet?
Yeah, we had a meeting and he'll be fighting early next year.
How was he?
He was disappointed, but he's in good form and he's back in the gym and he's ready and raring to go. It was a big experience for him. He's a guy that come from nowhere, who's suddenly fought for a world title and was 10, 15 seconds away from winning it. He feels he's up there with them. He belongs up there, and I believe that's the case as well. So, we've got to move him next year and get him back into contention again.
Where are we with Joe Joyce and Marco Huck?
Well, what I understand, and we haven't had anything in writing yet, we understand that Huck's promotional company can't put the fight on. So it may go back out to purse bids. I don't know what's going on. We've been in contact with the EBU and also the British Boxing Board of Control to get them to basically get someone to pull their finger out and let Joe know what he's doing. It's not fair on Joe.
So he's just waiting at the moment?
He's waiting at the moment, but he's not going to move, give up that position to fight for the European title.
What's the... I read your column the other week. There was Liam Williams and Garcia and Don King wanted to take it to Congo. Where are we with that?
We hope to get some resolution with that in the next day or so.
Okay. We'll look out for that. And finally, why should fans come along? Fans are on the fence whether or not to come along to the fight before Christmas. Why should they join us?
Why are they on the fence? Come and see the most exciting young heavyweight in the world. What are you going to be sitting on the fence for? Come and sit on a seat and watch it. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great card. We've got some really good fights that we're going to announce this week. Excuse me, which should also be on there. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a nice Christmas cracker. Come and see it.
It's a Christmas cracker. Come and see it. 21st of December at the Copper Box. We can't wait. Frank can't wait. See you there.